So welcome to subject number 6, the triangle of success, and how it aligns with your goals and your state. There's one thing that is very common in this industry, whether you're trained in it or you're just starting out, but the common denominator is so many people are like, I've got this block. I don't know why I'm not doing what I need to do. I understand what I want to do. And the reality is, you can believe in something as much as you want, but without action, then shit ain't happening. It's as simple as that. So, following on from the previous module about the triangle of knowledge, or the knowledge pyramid, I should say, the triangle of success starts to realign what it is that we actually need to do. It gets down to the specifics and the nitty-gritties, and all of these sections of that triangle will cross-pollinate as well. So one can't exist without the other, but if one is no longer in balance, then it will create a block of some sort. So let's have a look at it. It's known as a balancing act. So the first section of the triangle is attitudes, in other words, belief and mindsets. Success begins in the mind. It is a positive growth orientated with the mindset that allows individuals to overcome obstacles. It allows us to stay motivated and persistent through challenges. This includes things like our self-confidence, our resilience, and the ability to learn from failures rather than to be discouraged by them. Those who start to go, you know what, I'm going to have a strong mindset towards this, honestly and actively believe in their abilities to succeed and take the responsibility of their progress. They've turned around and they've said something along the lines of, oh, well, I mucked that up. Now I know another way not to do it, and I'm going to keep on going. The second section is the skill set, the abilities and the resourcing. Having the right mindset, that is absolutely crucial. It's part of the triangle, but you need to balance it out in the way that you're thinking when it comes to your skill set. What are your abilities and what are your resourcing? I'm deaf, so there's no point in me coming across and going, hey, you've got to listen to these audios and do karaoke and stuff like that. I'm not saying that you can't do it, but I do understand that this is a block for me and I need to start resourcing other abilities to make something that is an actionable skill. The reality is that without these actionable skills, we won't get real far. Sometimes we need support. Sometimes we need quiet time. Sometimes we just need to develop an expertise in a chosen field and stick to it. So whether you've decided to go to education or practice something or to experience it for yourself, you can equip yourself with these performance levels that are high level. Continuing to learn and adapt and honing in on your abilities contributes to your long-term success. You must be able to create a goal whilst also recognizing hurdles and blocks that need to be navigated. When it comes to those strengths and weaknesses inside those skill sets, a weakness is not the end game. The weakness is just something like, oh, okay, I might need a little bit of help with this one, so I need to recognize that, write it down out of my head, and then start to go, right, how do we navigate this hurdle? The third part of the triangle is knowledge, execution, and persistence. The best mindset and skill sets are absolutely meaningless without action. You can sit at home and do your meditation and all that sort of jazz and tell yourself how abundant and awesome you are, but unless you actually leave the house and start to get people on board, get that knowledge into action, not much is really going to happen. I mean, sure, you're going to be really relaxed. That's always fantastic. I'm always on board for that. But we do need a level of persistence and discipline. Many people fail not because of their lack of talent or their lack of intelligence. Usually they fail because they just don't follow through with their plans, or they plan to fail. There are so many people in this world that just want to say they did something without ever actually doing something. So it's all about the balance of the triangle. You need to balance the attitudes with the skill sets, with the knowledge base. So this is where the balance begins. So a person with a great mindset but no skills will struggle to produce results. It's as simple as that. Someone with skills but no action, like has no plan whatsoever, they may never reach the full potential. We've seen those people that are always going to do it one day. They've bought the tools, they've got the job, they've got the renovations that they're going to do. But fast forward 4 or 5 years, and it's still a tool sitting there stagnant, waiting to be used. Another example, a highly active person without the right mindset may soon give up or fail to adapt or even injure themselves. We've seen that a million times. Somebody who's so enthusiastic but just won't listen to what will make them better or how will help them level up. And this now leads us into the state and goal setting. A decision doesn't equal an action. Someone else doing something badly is still better than you thinking you can do it better. And this is where we need to take some simple steps to start going, how do I cultivate this into a reality and make this goal to be achievable? So it's 5 very, very simple steps. Step number 1, you have to know the outcome or the objective. What is the end game? As an example, if you were going on holidays, you need to know the destination before you can plan the journey. So what is the destination? From here, you start to make a plan. That's step number 2. Make a plan. Break it down as small as you possibly can. If you have a 10-year goal, break it down into year 9, year 8, year 7, year 6. And then take all those years and break them down into months. Take those months and break them down into weeks. Take those weeks and break them down into days. Because this is what we call small actions equal living the dream. Small daily actions, things that are achievable. The 3rd step from here is understanding the limitations, hurdles and blocks. What needs to be learned? What needs to be overcome? What needs to be diverted that somebody else can do because perhaps you're not even interested in it? I admit I hate cleaning my car. I can't stand it. But I'll get my partner to do it instead. He loves doing it whilst I go and do something else that's more productive. The 4th step is absolutely crucial. This is where most people tend to fall off the wagon. You have to be flexible and you have to be kind to yourself. You may hit more targets today and less tomorrow, but keep going. This is a liquid plan of success. Keep on going. If you achieve it a year before the goal's date, awesome. If you achieve it a year after the goal's date, that's awesome. How many times have we heard of projects being created and they're like, oh, look, we're just 6 months behind, but we're getting there because they are persistent and they don't lose sight of the goal. And then step number 5 is repeating steps 3 and 4. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat until the goal is achieved, until you get exactly what it is that you've been seeking. But then how do we achieve that goal? We've got to break it down a tiny little bit further. This is known as smarter goals. A decision doesn't equal an action. It really is that simple. So smarter goals. You may come across SMART goals. I try to promote smarter goals because a SMART goal is great until we need to get smarter. So let's just go with the smartest possible outcome that we have right here, right now. So let's break it down. The S stands for specific. Define what you want to achieve. You have to be clear. You have to be specific. If you say something along the lines of, oh, I want to go to Bali one day, well, you might as well say you're not going to Bali. I mean, sure, it's great to have a dream, but until it's turned into a goal, it won't become a reality. It's just a dream. So define it. Be clear and specific. Avoid vagueness like, I want to be healthier. Okay, eat a salad for dinner tonight. You'll be a little bit healthier. Goal achieved, right? But doesn't really get to where you want to go. I mean, I get a little bit angry because I ate one salad and I'm not skinny. Who would have thought, right? But instead, start to get more specific and clear. I want to exercise for 30 minutes 5 times a week. Specific enough? M is for measurable. Make it measurable. If something can't be measured, the brain goes into an ambiguous mode and then it goes into distress because it's what we call sandboxing mentality, where we can do anything that we want, absolutely anything at all. So we choose to do Nothing. If something's not measurable, then most of the time it will lead to procrastination. So add the numbers, do the bookwork, sort out the criteria, do the statistics, whatever it is that you need to measure. So, for example, you may want to lose 5 kilos in 3 months. This would mean that you would have to aim for at least 1.5 to 1.75 kilograms a month as part of your goal of weight loss. The third one is to check to see if this is achievable, because many people aim too high, and you'll be surprised how many people just aim too low. Consider what the current resources, skills, and limitations are. Make sure your goal is a challenge, but also possible. Sure, we don't mind things that challenge us, but we don't want it to be so challenging that the bar can't be reached. We don't want to reach that burnout before we've even started. So, what is it that you can achieve, and can you make this achievable? From here, we move into relevance. That's the letter R. Ask yourself, does this goal align with my priorities and values? Sometimes we want something, but do we want to really do the work? And if you're getting those seeds of doubt, just be done with it already. This is not relevant towards you, and you need to change the situation or the scenario. So what is relevant to you? Does it really resonate with you? Does it align with your priorities? Does it tick all those values and moral boxes that you have? From here, we move into a timeline. What's the deadline? When is this time frame going to create the urgency and the accountability? You're never going to be ready to get started, so you might as well just get started now. I had this conversation with a girlfriend a number of years ago where she said to me, "Oh, in 6 years' time, I'll be 50 years old, but I really want to go and study my legal degree and become a lawyer." And I said to her, the reality is that in 6 years' time, you're going to be 50 years old. Now, whether you're 50 years old with your lawyer's degree or 50 years old without it, that's your decision. That's all it comes down to. Well, I'm proud to say she has her lawyer's degree. From here, we move into the letter E, evaluate your progress. This is a system that needs constant tweaking, constant manipulation, if you want to say it like that. Check in regularly of where you stand and what's working or not. You may have had these idolizations and, gotten yourself all pepped up because you saw somebody else do it, but your growth is not the same as somebody else's. Perhaps you're better at doing legs day than what you are doing cardio. So reevaluate your progress as you go. Tweak the system so it makes it work for you. Now we move into the last step. This is the best one, obviously. Reward and readjust. Readjust anything that needs to be readjusted. Like I was saying before, you might be better at legs and weights rather than cardio. So readjust as you need. But also reward yourself when it comes down to the completion of it or those little steps. Make it logical rewards as well. Obviously, if you're going for weight loss, you wouldn't reward yourself with a candy bar or an ice cream. So when you're rewarding yourself, make it something that you really, really would enjoy, that you can look upon in future days and feel like this is something that you're truly proud of and you're so glad that you invested in yourself. When you're readjusting your goals, this is because life changes or maybe the goal changed. You have to be flexible and modify as necessarily as possible. Remember back to with the triangle, you have to be kind to yourself, but you also have to be persistent and willing to turn up as well. So when it comes to all these goals, the final steps are to get into state. What is it that you need to do? There's no point in somebody going into an Olympic race and then taking a beach chair out there and just sitting at the front line chilling out. You'll notice that every time you watch a race from now onwards, those racers are jumping around and keeping their heart rate up. In their mind, they've already raced this race and gotten to the end. But they're getting themselves into state. They're psyching themselves up, ready to go. So get yourself into state. So in other words, align your emotions with the outcome of the goal. Then from here, go for the goal. Go for that outcome. Go for gold. When we know where we're going and we understand what we have now, Only then can we choose the right path. So go for that goal. Understand that you may need to alleviate things like procrastination by writing things down out of your head so you don't become overwhelmed, and also understanding that you may need to learn how to do that to create some clarity or get someone on board to help you. Because at the end of the day, the only person that is going to help you to achieve this is you. Nobody's coming to help you do this except you, and you are your number one fan. I'll see you in the next module. Bye bye.